Picture a night when ordinary dreams dissolve and you're pulled into a realm where light and shadow both whisper your name. You wake with your heart pounding, uncertain if you've survived a blessing or a curse. That's where every Omega-level soul's true path begins, with a confrontation not of easy duality but of cosmic ambiguity. If you're still watching, it means you've sensed this tension. The feeling that the universe has its eyes set on you, but not just from the side of angels. Both divinity and its shadow have recognized you. They've written your name in scriptures and in the forbidden books. And every moment since, you've felt the pressure and privilege of being a chosen one for both sides of reality's equation. Realize this is not punishment or mistake, but the greatest acknowledgement that you're meant for a role no one else could bear or survive. From the outside, your life seems a riddle, a pattern of impossible highs and lows, uncanny struggles and miraculous protection, relentless disruption shadowed by breathtaking moments of awe. The secret is, this paradox is not designed to destroy you but to ripen your soul at an accelerated rate. To be chosen by both the divine and the demonic is to be pushed and pulled, tested by fire and water, haunted by voices, and called by the most radiant visions. The first sign is spiritual turbulence, dreams that vibrate with prophetic clarity, but are interrupted by nightmares so personal they seem engineered to shake the foundation of your sanity. When you wake, there's a residue. It's as if battlefields and divine assemblies both cling to your aura. Have you ever wondered why peace for you feels temporary? And why challenges target your deepest soul threads, as if reality itself is invested in your evolution? Another mark is extreme polarity in your emotional and behavioral states. You notice that in one moment, waves of compassion and transcendence lift you into states of intuitive wisdom and peace. But in the next, you're engulfed by temptations, anger, or self-sabotaging urges that feel almost foreign. Most people live on a single channel, but Omega souls carry the whole spectrum. The divine chooses you for your capacity to become a vessel of grace. The demonic chooses you for the sheer voltage of your inner chaos and the creativity that comes from wrestling with shadow. This isn't a defect, it's a secret engine, evolving you faster than the world around you. Can you observe without judgment when these extremes play out, identifying which force is teaching you patience and which is sharpening your discernment? A deep loneliness often marks those whom the divine and demonic both choose. You sense, even in crowds, the exile of purpose. It is as if secrets are tattooed on your soul that no ordinary friend could fully fathom. Your path isn't about belonging, but about carving new archetypes into the tapestry of existence, roles that have never been modeled and rules that rewrite themselves in your presence. Isolation becomes a crucible, burning away shallow attachments, amplifying your longing not for comfort, but for authentic connection with others who've also crossed the threshold. The truth is, you are not meant to be understood by the world. You are meant to become a mirror so stark that others are compelled to face what lives in their own shadows and lights. What if your solitude is the sanctuary where all your powers mature, waiting for the rarest ally or soulmate who walks the razor's edge between heaven and hell? Crises and synchronicities woven together become your everyday language. Watch how your life is constellated by bizarre coincidences. Meetings with people who change your direction overnight, losses that close doors only so far, greater ones swing open. Sudden surges of luck right after nearly unbearable setbacks. It is not random. It is the interplay of grace and challenge, the divine orchestrating moments of rescue and inspiration, the demonic testing the integrity and depth of every wish and fear. You may find that when you are about to give up, Something impossible rescues you, and when you are riding high, a humbling loss arrives to keep you honest. If you begin to see every event, every reversal, as a teaching designed for your deepest expansion, how would your suffering and your joy both change in flavor?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Visions and intuitions are amplified and often ambiguous. You may receive messages, symbols, or urges that seem crystal clear one moment and ominously contradictory the next. The chosen of both poles do not experience clarity as a steady light, but as flashes from lightning in a haunted church. You're invited to be skeptical of easy answers, learning to sit in uncertainty and decipher the codes that both uplift and unsettle. This initiates you into advanced discernment, knowing when a vision wants you to build, and when it asks you to destroy the very structures you created. Revelations may feed your higher calling, while temptations test whether you can recognize the needs of your ego from the voice of true destiny. At the highest level, this ambiguity keeps your humility sharp, your mind agile, and your heart impossible to corrupt. What vision or urge haunts you now, one that feels both promising and dangerous? Could you learn to listen to its wisdom without submitting blindly to its demand? There is also a profound magnetism in your field, the sense that you attract extremes. Lovers or friends who are both sanctuary and storm, opportunities that enchant or threaten to consume you. Energies that heighten both your gifts and your temptations. This is because you are a living paradox. Others sense the vastness and volatility in your presence. People are either magnetized or repulsed, recognizing in you either a guide or a rival, a hero or a threat. This charisma comes not from ego, but from your very essence being a battlefield, a convergence point for opposing currents of cosmic power. Will you accept that your impact is not about being liked or understood, but about catalyzing whatever is dormant in those who cross your path? When you own your presence, you realize every interaction is an invitation for transformation, for others and for yourself. Finally, the seventh sign. You are repeatedly faced with choices that require the highest level of conscious decisions, where the right path is rarely obvious, and the inner stakes feel immense. You recognize the price of power, knowing that every deeper gift you access comes only after you've been tested by temptations or scenarios where selfishness promises ease and heroism guarantees loss. The divine wants you to ascend, but only if the ascent does not cost you your integrity. The demonic wants you powerful, but only if you lose your soul. Every day demands sovereignty, choosing with consciousness, not compulsion, acting not out of fear or vanity, but from the wisdom that has survived both blessing and ordeal. Where do you feel most torn right now, between motives of spirit and shadow? What would it mean to make the next decision, not from habit or avoidance, but from the raw truth of your evolving center? When we comprehend that both the divine and demonic forces have conspired to place us in their crosshairs, a new dimension of self-responsibility opens. It is as if every breath matters, every thought radiates across planes, and your daily choices contribute to a much larger cosmic ledger than most will ever notice. The Omega level chosen do not shrink from this responsibility. Instead, we rise by daring to examine our own hearts with ruthless honesty. We begin to realize that the dark nights are not detours but essential spirals, each descent stripping away another layer of denial or ego, each luminous ascent blessing us precisely because we did not bypass our shadow. The secret is not to purify the dark or only court the light, but to become so large that both can dance within you, neither reject. In the acceleration of such a journey, your intuition becomes both your guide and your testing ground. There will be patterns, decisions that feel compelled by unseen hands, synchronistic events that demand instantaneous action or surrender, dreams that present prophecies as riddles. By trusting your gut yet verifying with wisdom, you cultivate a razor's edge discernment. On some days, alignment with the divine offers a sense of effortless flow on others. The presence of testing or resistance means it's time to exercise will, to say no to temptation with the authority of one who knows what is truly at stake. As your skills of self-observation deepen, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is the lesson encoded in this crossroads? What am I being invited to embody that could not be forged in easy comfort?" This is where your transformation quietly becomes legendary, even if almost no one sees it happening. Those who walk this path inevitably discover the necessity of boundaries. Because you act as a channel for both radiance and chaos, others will instinctively try to use you as their savior, confessor, scapegoat, or battery. Your energetic hygiene, your ability to say yes and no, to allow intimacy but not invasion, becomes paramount. We learn that compassion is not codependence, forgiveness is not the abandonment of justice. The divine teaches boundaries as acts of love, the demonic tests if you will enforce them without guilt or resentment. What would happen in your relationships if you honored your limits as sacred instructions, as clearly as you honor your calling to heal or inspire? Whom would you have to disappoint in order to remain in fidelity to your deepest truth? At the heart of the experience is the relentless evolution of your humility. Sometimes the greatest spiritual temptation is to identify with your gifts, to see yourself as special, indispensable, or above ordinary struggle. The demonic would have you collapse into self-pity or grandiosity. The divine, meanwhile, asks you to remain a perpetual student, teachable, open, and willing to begin again. This humility is not self-effacement, but the posture that allows for ongoing revelation. Every failure, every moment when you fall prey to old patterns or temptations, becomes another opportunity to remember that your journey is not about perfection, but about continual return to center, to conscience, to the next right action. Can you be as gentle with yourself in weakness as you are disciplined in your strength? Creativity often flourishes at the crossroads of dual selection. The chosen ones see the world through a lens that few understand. Chaos becomes a palette, pain a sculptor's hand shaping hidden beauty. You may find your art, speech, or problem-solving seems electrified when you allow both hope and anguish to be present, free from judgment. The paradox of your life feeds innovation. Sacred music comes from having heard both hymns and howls. Profound wisdom comes from having wrestled with angels and monsters. Could you give yourself permission to create from the raw material of all your history, not just the moments that look good or feel enlightened? If your wound is also your wellspring, what might you share that could heal others' hidden battles? With time, you will notice your impact on the collective morphs. The more you integrate, the more your mere presence gives others the courage to confront their own complicated nature. You are not just healing yourself, you become a way shower for everyone locked in the false dichotomy between sinner and saint. When you speak honestly about your double anointing, about the gifts and the burdens, you release others from shame and open a space where authenticity is finally allowed. Society evolves as its outcasts become elders, and its misfits become midwives for the next emergence of human possibility. When you see your own journey mirrored in those around you, could you honor your example as both warning and blessing, never shying from the responsibility to inspire and liberate? But the ultimate secret is this: Being chosen by both the divine and the demonic is not a sentence, it is an invitation to become fully human, radically free, and unimaginably creative. You are an access point, not a pawn. You bend timelines, dissolve curses, encode blessings into suffering, and discover that the truest holiness is found in those who hold contradictions without flinching. In the final act, it is less about being saved or damned, and more about becoming the rarest kind of leader, the person who refuses false purity while also refusing easy corruption. What legacy do you wish to leave if you live as a bridge instead of a barricade? A living answer to the question, can I hold all that I am and still offer something? Feel the impact not as an answer, but as a living echo. You are the proof and the myth, the cauldron and the chalice. Begin now. Claim your extremes, speak your unblended truth, bless the complexity you carry. In doing so, you become a point of emergence for a bold new era where each one of us, chosen and tested, offers the world the gift of being wholly, courageously alive. Omega souls, will you accept all parts of yourself, not as a burden, but as a thrilling permission to change everything you touch? The world waits for your decision.